Hello and welcome to The Print. I am Vaibhav Pant and with me is Dr. Pushpesh Pant.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be with you, Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Pushpesh Pant started his career as a historian. Later on, he did his studies in international relations, and sir is also a lawyer. Today, with sir, we are going to talk about his adventures with food and how he tackled them. If I start with my first question, sir, you have always said that Indians have often misunderstood Indian food. In this regard, I have a pitch perfect question in this, that what is the biggest lie we tell ourselves about our food, our cuisine?
The biggest lie we tell people in the world is that we have Indian food. There is no such thing as Indian food. My favorite analogy is Adi Shankaracharya. When he was asked to describe what the Brahman, supreme cosmic reality is, his answer was neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this, not this. Same is the case with Indian food. What is Indian food? It is not Chinese, it is not Central Asian, it is not Turkish, it is not continental, it is not Arabic, it is not Mediterranean, and it is still at the same time all of this. Now what happens is that India is a construct political map post 1947. Before that the word Akhand Bharat is not very palatable, but there was undivided India, and the territory of undivided subcontinent extended from Darra-e Khyber to the jungles of Arakan, from the Himalayas to the ocean. Now all this was man-made, boundaries were not there. There were states, there were riyasats, there were princely states, and people lived happily. And you never realized where the food came from. India was Pakistan, present-day Pakistan was part of India, present-day Bangladesh was part of India.
Okay.
And if you put these two together, we were larger population even then than China.
Okay.
We have regions, we have sub-regions, we have the footprint of Tamil Nadu, we have footprint of Karnataka, we have footprint of Andhra, Hyderabad.
In this regard, I have one question. That in India, generally, not just in India, world over, coastal states are famous for their fisheries, their food which is related to marine atmosphere. But in India specifically, one of the largest state which has a largest coastline in our country, Gujarat, is purely vegetarian.
It's not. There's a greatest myth that Gujarat is a vegetarian state.
But out of all the states in India, you can see that Gujarat has the highest percentage of vegetarians.
No, those statistics are very questionable. I mean, if the government is bent upon saying, who has done a benchmark study that isn't Gujarat the home state of Parsis, are they vegetarians? Isn't Gujarat the home states of Dawoodi Bohra Muslims, which are...
but they are in minority, their number
is very less. Look, the point
less.
is, if you say who's in a minority, all of us in a minority.
Okay.
Brahmins are a minority all over the country.
Yeah.
Kshatriyas are not a majority. Ahirs and Yadavs, OBCs might be a majority in a particular state, they are not a majority all over the country. The tribal children of India belong to so many different tribes, they are all minorities within minorities. There are Nagas in Nagaland, Nagas in Manipur, Nagas in Meghalaya, then there are so many tribes in Arunachal Pradesh. So I think this is a myth that this is a majority food, they are vegetarian. Government of India statistics are, not mine, that 68% of Indians have eaten meat once in their life at least. So it's like the LGBTQ. Everybody claims to be straight, but they are in closet. So in India there are closet non-vegetarians. जी हम सोमवार को नहीं खाएंगे, हम मंगल को नहीं खाएंगे, हम पितृपक्ष को नहीं खाएंगे, हम श्राद्ध को नहीं खाएंगे, हम नवरात्रि में नहीं खाएंगे, हम पर्यूषण को नहीं खाएंगे, हम घर पे नहीं खाएंगे. बट अगर बाहर दुकान में जाएंगे तो I will have no problem ordering a मुर्ग मलाई टिक्का and chopping it off, you know.
So अब ना
no, but to go back to Gujarat, दबेली रोटी और जो वो वाला गुजरात की बेल्ट है ना, जो which is on the sea coast, seafood is eaten there, and even Gujaratis who claim to be vegetarians in Surat go to a Muslim outlet and eat meat. उसके बाद वो अमरूद की पत्तियाँ चबाते हैं, चाय पीते हैं, पान खाते हैं, घर चले जाते हैं.
Absolutely. So now my question is that recently, if you have seen in 2020, the National Museum in our country, they barred the non-vegetarian food which was depicted in Indus Valley civilization at that time. And similarly nowadays, if you'll see the elections which are run in our country, it is run on the word biryani. So are we, like my question is that are we celebrating culture or turning food into a battlefield?
No, what we are doing is we are dumbing down history. Food was always a battlefield. गरीब आदमी को क्या खाने को मिल रहा है या अमीर आदमी क्या खा रहा है. There was always a class distinction. There was always a caste distinction. There was always what the tribal said and what the non-tribal said. There was always a distinction between what a male child was given to eat and what a female was given to eat. So all these divisions were there. Food, kitchen was always a battleground. But it was, what is happening now is we are dumbing down people and saying कि हमारा खाना तो सात्विक था, हमारा खाना सिर्फ vegetarian था. Our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. They were eating what they got. So how can we say that we were only always vegetarian? In Vedas, there is a word called Gogna, the person who kills the cow or calf. Beef eating was not popularized, but it's proved beyond doubt that in the Vedic period, the buffalo was slaughtered, and some people practice beef eating. We are not trying to popularize beef eating, but protection of the cows is a directive principle of a state in constitution.
Yeah, absolutely.
According to the fantasies of Mahatma Gandhi, who thought that, and Mahatma Gandhi was a person who himself had eaten meat once, who himself had become a vegetarian not because of Hindu Vedic tradition, but because he was a fashionable scientific vegetarian in England when he was a youth. So I think, we unfortunately have let the food fetish of a person who knew little about India traditionally before he went to England, and we are paying the price for that.
My next question is that internationally the brand image of India has been kind of, in relation to food, in relation to cuisines which we have, has been reduced to a curry nation, a nation which is famous for its malai tikka, it is famous for chicken tikka, naans.
Sorry to interrupt you, but where was the malai tikka before it became more malai tikka, more masala tikka in London? So it was a Pakistani, Mr. Hoon, who was serving a television takeaway heat and eat thali or a tray, and he discovered this Bangladeshi cook probably made a tandoori tikka and roasted in a masala, and we started becoming more malai tikka. So I don't think that this, whatever is associated with India, is partly misinformation spread by British. They did not know what a korma was, they did not know what a kalia was, they did not know what a salan was. For them everything was curry.
Okay.
Fish curry, mutton curry, egg curry. Alright, chicken curry. But that is not what our food is. And our food is dal roti. How many people even know the variety of dal? कि काली दाल है, mahdi दाल है, पीली दाल है. What is पीली दाल? चने की दाल है, धुली उड़द की दाल है, are you eating अरहर की दाल है, इन तीनों की मिली हुई दाल है, चने की दाल है. So most people don't even know the varieties of dal we have. So why are we worried about curry? किसी ने आपको ये बताया कि आप कौन सी पीली दाल खा रहे हैं? हम दाल फ्राई खा रहे हैं, हम दाल तड़का खा रहे हैं. So what तड़का is it? Are you having a तड़का of लौंग, of मिट्टी का दिया, of हरी मिर्च, लाल मिर्च, जीरा, मेथी, हींग? People don't even know their food.
Sir, as we all know that you are also an expert in international relations, even though nowadays people also claim to be international relation expert on Twitter and all this area. But my question is that if you'll see in India, especially in our national capital, pollution has become one of the leading issues. Our AQI is like skyrocketing, it has crossed 500. But this was the similar situation China was like 10 years back. But now they have solved it. Even their geography was same.
See, look, the point is that I will not like to get into this argument. There are two things. China and India are not comparable. China is a country which has lived like autocracy, not a democracy, authoritarian regime for thousands of years. People subordinate individual rights to community rights. Village, family, village, district, state, nation. In India, we have been a fairly anarchic state. अगर हमारी कास्ट है तो हमारे privileges हैं, हमारी social class है तो हमारे privileges हैं. And the so-called democracy in India gives an excuse even to the courts to toe the line of the government. I mean, I think, Supreme Court has just withdrawn the order it had given about the environment being protected and no strategic building taking place. So I don't know, the courts bend down, people are very selfish. They don't calculate कि हम अपनी गाड़ी में जा रहे हैं उससे कार्बन पोल्यूशन कितना हो रहा है. इट इज़ ईजियर टू से कि हरियाणा का किसान पसारी जला रहा है ना, उससे पोल्यूशन हो रहा है. यू विल नॉट सी हाउ मच पोल्यूशन वी क्रिएट ऑन आवर ओन एंड वी बाय आवर इंडिविजुअल सॉल्यूशंस. एयर प्यूरिफायर लगा लो. बट दिल्ली में प्रॉब्लम जो पोल्यूशन का है वो वेहिकुलर पोल्यूशन का है, वो ड्रेनेज नहीं होने का है, वो हाई राइज बिल्डिंग बनने का है जिससे एयर फ्लो डिस्टर्ब हुआ है. and we just don't impose municipal laws.
Even topography, it is said that topography of Delhi is also as such that in winters the
जी,
wind
बिल्कुल।
doesn't flow properly.
मगर दिल्ली आज की बनी तो नहीं है ना,
जी,
दिल्ली
जी,
को बने
बिल्कुल।
400 साल हो गए हैं। उसके पहले भी दिल्ली शाहजहानाबाद नहीं था, मगर तुगलकाबाद था, फिरोजाबाद था, बस्ती निज़ामुद्दीन थी। दिल्ली की जगह तो थी ना, जहाँ पना था, दीन पना था, पुराना किला था। तो इट इज़ नॉट एज इफ दिल्ली डिड नॉट हैव अ कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, बट राइट नाउ देयर इज ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ इम्पोजिशन ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल रेगुलेशंस। अब छठ हो रही, तो आपने छठ के लिए भी भीड़ लगा रखी है। अब मैंने कहा कि प्योर वाटर है यहाँ, तो कैसे प्योर वाटर होगा? आपकी जो डाउन स्ट्रीम इंडस्ट्रियल पोल्यूशन हो रहा है वो तो रहेगा ही। इतनी सीवेज है, वो गंदा जमुना के गंदे नाले में तो जाएगी जाएगी ना।
Recently, sir, you said that you are writing a new book on food and international relations.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do the politics of food, and I'm trying to say that in international relations, there is a war in Ukraine. How does it affect the supply of wheat to the world? When I say Indians are importing millions of tons of dal from Canada and Ethiopia and Africa and Myanmar, you ask yourself a question, हमारी दाल कहाँ गई? When you import palm oil from Malaysia and Singapore and Indonesia, you say उसका क्या हुआ? We are supposed to be the largest milk producing nation in the country, largest fruit and vegetable producing country, but we don't export as much as China does, you see. हमारा सारा confusion ये है कि we convert everything into GDP terms, कि हम इतने ज़्यादा लोग हैं, हमारे इतना होता है, कंजम्पशन कितना होता है, लोग हमारे दूध पीते कितना है, हम अपना तेल कितना खाते हैं। अभी सोहेल हाशमी साहब ने बड़ी तकरीर फरमाई थी कि 1924 के पहले हिंदुस्तान में मूंगफली नहीं थी, मूंगफली नहीं थी तो मूंगफली का तेल भी नहीं था। तो आप कौन सा तेल खाते थे? सोयाबीन भी नहीं था, डालडा भी नहीं था, वनस्पति भी नहीं था। आप कच्ची घानी का सरसों का तेल खाते थे, आप तिल का तेल खाते थे, आप नारियल का तेल खाते थे, या फिर घी खाते थे।
जी, पर आजकल उसमें मिलावट होने का बहुत ज़्यादा चांस है।
देखिए, मिलावट तब होगी जब तक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर एडल्ट्रेशन से डील करने के लिए हार्ड नहीं होगा, हार्ड कोर नहीं होगा। यू मेंशन चाइना, इन चाइना इफ यू एडल्ट्रेट एंड यू आर कॉट, यू आर शॉट डेड। यहाँ तो ये नहीं होगा ना, आप जान किसी की नहीं ले लेंगे, हाय बेचारा एक अकेला आदमी, गरीब आदमी, और क्या कर रहा था। सो देयर इज अ वेरी वॉर्म्ड काइंड ऑफ अ सिचुएशन इन इंडिया वेयर वी आर अ डेमोक्रेसी एंड नॉट अ डेमोक्रेसी। We are an authoritarian regime reinventing history all the time. We are a people who are killing a pluralistic way of life and imposing on people the so-called vegetarianism. पहले कहते ना मार के मुसलमान बना दिया, अब आपको मार के वेजिटेरियन बनाया जा रहा है।
नहीं, पर इससे एक और रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है कि पहाड़ में स्पेशली जैसे पहाड़ी जो खाना है, जो जैसे पंजाबी खाना है, इट हैज़ पेनिट्रेटेड एवरीवेयर। साउथ इंडियन फूड, डोसा है, डोसाज है,
उसके रीज़न है,
दे ऑल हैव पेनिट्रेटेड।
उसके रीज़न है पेनिट्रेटेड। उन्होंने कोई हमारे खिलाफ इन्वेजन थोड़ी किया। पंजाबी जो खाना है इट इज़ अफोर्डेबल, तंदूर से निकलता है, गरम गरम रोटी है, काली दाल है, उसके संग आप खाना खा लेते हैं। जो टिफ़िन आइटम साउथ से आए हैं वो आपके आँख के सामने पकते हैं। इडली पकी है, सस्ती है, आपने खा ली। आपने डोसा है, उसमें आलू भरा है, पेट भर जाएगा। तो अगर पहाड़ी खाना हमारा कुछ ऐसा होता जो लोगों का पेट भी भरता, जायकेदार भी होता और जल्दी बन सकता, तो लोग खा रहे होते। अगर आपने आलू के गुटके, गडेरी के गुटके, खीरे के रायते और भांग की चटनी के साथ आजकल लोग कर रहे हैं, लोग खा रहे हैं। मगर हमारा खाना गुर्बत का खाना था, गरीबी का खाना था। आलू की छिछवानी थी, मूली की छिछवानी थी, सूखी सब्जियां हुआ करती थी, गद्दू हो गया। और आपने कहा कि वही खाना जो था वो कफूली गढ़वाल में थी, हमारे यहाँ कापा का फल का कापा था। वह हमारे यहाँ जम्बू का शौक़ था, गढ़वाल में जखिए का शौक़ था। मगर अगर हमने अपने खाने को ऐसे प्रमोट किया होता कि ये हेल्दी है, ये चीप है, ये मज़ेदार है, तो हमारा खाना भी फैल रहा होता।
Thank you very much. I think with this we can conclude our interview and keep watching the print for more updates and details. Thank you.